3-crown ronisch. It's a pigeon paired to the other instrument I showed you. Different colour to the cabinet. This is more your traditional walnut, a real honey walnut, a beautiful colour. And this one we've decided to leave that natural colour, because often I'll put a little bit of mahogany or walnut in the stain, and people love that. But every now and then it's nice to keep one just on the lighter side. So there it is, and you heard the tone in that little piece. This is a rebuilt instrument also. And inside, of course, new hammers, dampers, all the bearings and bushings done. They come through the workshop. That's the chance for an instrument to have a complete rebuild. And one of the scandals, I think, and the family have often thought, is that many of these instruments pass through so-called piano workshops and are just quickly tricked up for the public. And because of the beauty of the instrument, they will carry on and still play, but nowhere near their best. So when an instrument comes here, we view that as the golden chance to get it back to as close to the brand new thing as we can. Of course there'd be marginal differences, but the thing is it's a thing of beauty and beautiful tone at the end of it. Certainly if Carl Ronisch was standing here and he played it, he'd say, well, that's lovely, but slightly different or whatever. I mean, that's the fascination of handmade instruments. Like the great violin makers, their beautiful instruments are unsurpassed, and they keep getting repaired and refined, and in that process perhaps little changes are made. Not for the worse, but that's just how an instrument lives. And you won't find many Japanese pianos or violins and other instruments represented in our orchestras. People prefer to use European instruments, Italian and European violins that they've worked towards having over many years. And these beautiful handmade pianos are exactly the same. In many ways this is a Stradivarius of the upright pianos. And currently we're working on a couple of Richard lip instruments, which are beautiful. I'm just in the process of finishing a Bechstein upright, very modest to look at, but divine to play. So I'm pleased to be able to say, even in these quiet times economically, we are sticking by our guns and doing full restorations on the pianos that come through here. And this instrument, this beautiful 3-crown, is no exception. I've had to put new keys on this, but we've used the lovely ivory grained celluloid, which isn't used much anymore. It's hard to get, but I've got a source for it, and it takes a couple of days of hand shaping and then polishing to get that lovely ivory grain celluloid set of keys. Once they're on, they're there forever and a day, and they're beautiful. They've got a lovely feel like ivory, and they're very much in keeping with the instrument. And you'll often see in your travels, if you're looking at pianos, older instruments, Victorian instruments, etc., with lovely white snowy set of keys that are, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they've just been sort of, the originals ripped off and the new ones slapped on, not trimmed or anything. You see it all the time. And it's a total mismatch, and they don't feel nice. So when you're buying a piano from me and my sons, you know that the appropriate keys have been chosen and fitted for the piano. Some little instruments that come in are only deserving of just a neat little plastic set. That might be a beginner's piano or whatever, and so we cut a day's work out of that and just keep them neat and nice. But when you're looking at the Rolls-Royce of instruments, you've just got to persevere with every little detail, because we know as piano builders that once you get an instrument right, it will need yearly tuning, of course, but the instrument, we're setting them up to literally go on for a full generation before it will even need much in the way of adjustments. And as far as all the working parts and the quality therein, they're ready to go out and do 2 generations. So that's beautiful. Count Ronisch, 3 crown, playing like new. A pitch impaired to the other one that I showed you just before, the darker instrument. I'm very pleased to help show you that. And I'll put the front panel back on. And there it is. Beautiful for a student or a professional person, or a student who's got aspirations to go on to be a full-time, lifetime musician. There's a musical companion that will follow a person for many, many years.